Respected to Samagra Shiksha, Andhra Pradesh, KGBV online classes, Chittoor district. Welcome to the session. I am introducing myself. My name is P. Jayalakshmi, working as Biology CRT, KGBV School, Vizlapuram Village, Ramakuppam Mandal, Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. Hi children, how are you? I hope you are in your home safe. Whenever you go outside, use sanitizer and wear mask compulsory. I feel happy to teach online classes to our KGBV students. Today I teach 10th class biology. Students, how we get energy? Yes, we get energy by taking food. These food materials and liquids are passes throughout the parts of our body by the process of transportation. This is the title of the lesson, namely transportation, the circulatory system. Okay, ma? Students, what we learn in this lesson? Some topics are learned in this lesson. They are mind mapping of transportation system, introduction of transportation, discovery of stethoscope, internal structure of the heart, discoveries of William Harvey and Marcello Malpighi, differences between arteries and veins, the cardiac cycle, single and double circulation, lymphatic system, evolution of transport system, blood pressure, coagulation of blood, root pressure, and lastly xylem and phloem. Here the picture shows the mind mapping of transportation system. Draw neatly in your biology notebook, ma. Now, introduction of the transportation. What is transportation? Here, all the living organisms need nutrients, gases, liquids, etc. for growth and maintenance of the body. All the organisms would need to send these materials to all the parts of their body, whether they are unicellular organisms or multicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, these may not have to be transported to longer distances, while in multicellular forms have to be sent substances to long distances as far as say over 100 feet for the tallest plant on the earth. In lower organisms like amoeba, hydra, etc., all the materials are transported through a simple process like diffusion and osmosis. Students, here one activity for you. When we touch our wrist, we feel something. A pressure of blood passes through the artery. That is, we see that pulse rate varies from person to person and situation to situation. So, it is not constant. When you are afraid of excited, the pulse rate goes up. Observe your pulse rhythm in other ways as well, such as climbing stairs, running, etc. there is a relationship between the pulse rate and the beat of our heart. Here, a table shows the rate of heartbeat in different ages of man. In newborn babies, that is age of 0 to 3 months baby, the rate of heartbeat is 100 to 150. In infants, that is age of 3 to 6 months baby, the rate of heartbeat is 90 to 120. In infants, that is age of 6 to 12 months, the rate of heartbeat is 70 to 130. In children over 10 years and adults including senior citizens, the rate of heartbeat is 60 to 100. In well-trained adults and athletes, the rate of heartbeat is 40 to 60. In this table, we must know one thing. The rate of heartbeat is very high in newborn babies. That is 100 to 150. It is the important bit. Note down, ma. Next comes to discovery of stethoscope. Discovery of stethoscope. The picture shows the great scientist named as René Laennec, who discovered the stethoscope. In the year 1816, René Laennec discovered the stethoscope. Before the discovery of stethoscope, doctors used to hear heartbeat by keeping ear on the chest of the patient. Laennec found that paper tube helps to hear the heartbeat perfectly. One important question, one more question, that is, who discovered stethoscope? Yes, the answer is René Laennec discovered the stethoscope. Next, location of the heart. Heart is located in between the two lungs and protected by rib cage. Once again I repeated, where is heart located? Yes, heart is located in between the lungs and protected by rib cage. Here the one keyword. What is the meaning of rib cage? What is the definition of rib cage? You know? Guess the answer. In front of the chest bone, sides of ribs and back of backbones are formed a cage that is called rib cage. In the rib cage, there are important inner organs are located, named as heart and lungs. Heart and lungs. The size of our heart is approximately the size of our fist. The size of our heart is approximately the size of our fist. Okay, ma? This is the important 5 marks figure in your examination view. That is the internal structure of the heart. Internal structure of the heart. Our heart have 4 chambers. Upper parts are called as atriums. Lower parts are called as ventricles. Draw neatly the internal structure of the heart in your biology notes and also drawing notes, ma. The heart is a pear-shaped structure, triangle in outline, wider at the anterior end and narrower at the posterior end. The heart is covered by two layers of membranes. The membranes are called pericardial membranes. This is important. One more question, ma. Once again I repeat this point. The heart is covered by two layers of membranes. The membranes are called as pericardial membranes. The space between these two layers is filled with pericardial fluid which protects the heart from shocks. The heart is divided into four parts by grooves. The upper two parts are called as atria or auricles, and the lower ones are called as ventricles. The upper parts of the heart are called as atrium and the lower parts are called as ventricles. The blood vessels found in the walls of the heart are coronary vessels which supply blood to the muscles of the heart. The walls of the ventricles are relatively thicker than atrial walls. The rigid vessels are called arteries which originate from the heart and supply blood to various organs in the body. Here, one important half mark bit for you. The larger artery is the aorta. The question is, which is the largest artery in our body? Yes, the answer is the largest artery is the aorta. The relatively smallest one is pulmonary artery, which carries blood from the heart to the lungs. The less rigid vessels are the veins which bring blood from all body parts to the heart. This is the structure of our heart. Next, the picture shows valves which are located in the heart. Very, very important valves. There are four types of valves. First one, tricuspid valve. This is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Once again I repeat, tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Next, pulmonary valve. This is located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Third one, mitral valve. The other name for mitral valve is bicuspid valve. This is half mark bit. Important. Bicuspid valve is located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Lastly, aortic valve is located between the left ventricle and the aorta. There are four types of valves in the heart. First one, tricuspid valve. Second one, pulmonary valve. Third one, mitral valve. And lastly, aortic valve. Students, note down, every point is important. We teach not the lesson to you. We make the notes for you for examination valuation. Okay? Note down in your notebook, ma. Next, William Harvey. William Harvey was born on 1st April 1578. Harvey also proved that blood flows in two separate loops. First one is the pulmonary circulation and the systematic circulation. He then tied a ligature on the upper arm of a person which distended the veins in the forearm and made the valves of the forearm clearly visible. He tried to force blood in vain down the forearm, but to no avail. When he tried to push it up the arm, it moved easily. Harvey had proved that the venous blood flowed to the heart and that the body's valves in the veins maintained the one-way flow. Next, discoveries of capillaries by Marsilio Malpighi. Leonardo da Vinci clearly observed and described capillaries. Using the microscope, Marsilio Malpighi examined the brain and major organs to demonstrate their finer anatomical features. This led to his discovery in 1661 of capillaries that proved fundamental to our understanding of the vascular system in the brain and cord. He hypothesized that capillaries were the connection between arteries and veins that allowed blood to flow back to the heart in the circulation of blood, as first asserted by William Harvey. Here the picture shows capillaries. Capillary is nothing but the connection between arteries and veins that allowed blood to flow back to the heart. Note down, ma. Here, one important 5 marks question or 4 marks question in your examination, that is differences between arteries and veins. Very important question. Following are the major differences between arteries and veins. First one, arteries. According transports, arteries carry blood away from the heart to various parts of the body. According to transport, veins carry blood towards the heart from the various parts of the body. According to walls, arteries consists of 3 distinct layers which are rigid, thicker and highly muscular. In veins, consists of 3 distinct layers which are thinner and less muscular. According to their position, artery is located deep within the body. According to position, veins peripherally located closer to the skin. According to function of arteries involved in carrying oxygenated blood except for pulmonary arteries. The veins function is involved in the carrying of deoxygenated blood except for pulmonary veins. According to rate of pressure in arteries, high pressure, blood pressure, as the blood flows by the pumping pressure of the heart. In veins, that is low pressure, as the blood flows by the capillary action of the veins. By taking oxygen level, comparatively higher oxygen level, arteries comparatively higher oxygen level, but veins comparatively low oxygen level. By taking carbon dioxide, in the arteries, the level of carbon dioxide is low. In the veins, the level of carbon dioxide is high. The direction of the blood flow. In arteries, in the downward direction from the heart to the body tissues. In the veins, in the upward direction from the body tissues to the heart. In arteries, lumen is narrow. In veins, lumen is wide. Valves are absent in arteries. Valves are present in veins. Disorders. Arteries are at a greater risk of certain diseases like angina pectoris, atherosclerosis, etc. Veins are less susceptible to diseases such as various veins. This is the very important 5 marks difference question for you. Note down neatly in your biology notes, ma. Here the picture shows arteries and veins. In the middle of the part known as capillaries. It is the connected between the arteries and veins. Okay. Now I give one activity for you. You know the difference of arteries and veins. Fill the suitable words in the table. Finally, I ask 2 questions for you from this table. Valves are present in dash. Valves are present in veins. Type of blood in pulmonary artery is type of blood. This answer is in the table. You clear and observe the table and answer the following questions. Okay. The type of blood in pulmonary artery is deoxygenated blood. Okay. Next, the cardiac cycle. The human heart starts beating around 21st day. During the embryonic development, if it stops beating, it results in the death of a person. Now, the definition of cardiac cycle. One contraction and one relaxation of atria and ventricles is called cardiac cycle. The picture shows cardiac cycle figure. Neatly draw it, ma. There are some phases in cardiac cycle. That is, we start with the imagination that all the 4 chambers of the heart are in relaxed state. Blood from vena cava and pulmonary veins enters the right and left atria respectively. Now the atria contract, forcing the blood to enter into the ventricles. When the ventricles are filled with blood, they start contracting and atria start relaxing. On ventricular contraction, due to pressure, the blood moves into the aorta and pulmonary artery. The aperture between the atria and ventricles is closed by valves. When the valves are closed forcibly, we can listen to the first sharp sound of the heart lub. When the ventricles start relaxing, the pressure in the ventricles is reduced. The valves which are present in the blood vessels are closed to prevent backward flow of blood into the ventricles. Now we can listen to a dull sound of the heart dub. The cardiac cycle includes an active phase systole and a resting phase, the diastole of atria and ventricles. The whole cardiac cycle process is completed in approximately 0.8 seconds. The time needed for atrial contraction is 0.11 to 0.14 seconds. The time needed for ventricular contraction is from 0.27 to 0.35 seconds. Here one table shows name of the animal, weight of the body, weight of the heart, number of beats per minute. Name of the animal, blue whale. Blue whale is the largest animal in the world. It is an important bit. Blue whale is the largest animal in the world. Students, I ask one question for you. Which is the largest animal on the earth? Guess the answer. It is slightly different. Listen, elephant is the largest animal on the earth. In blue whale, the weight of the body of blue whale is 1,50,000 kgs. Weight of the heart of blue whale is 750 kgs. The number of beats per minute, heartbeat, 7, only 7. Here, body weight is very high, but number of beats is very low. In elephant, that is the weight of the body, 3000 kgs. Weight of the heart, 12 to 21 kgs. Number of heartbeats per minute, 46. In man, the weight of the body, 60 to 70 kgs. Weight of the heart, 300 grams. Number of beats per minute, 76. The last, coil-teeth bird. It is the less weight, that is 8 grams. Weight of the heart, 0.15 grams. Here, what a fun! The number of heartbeats in the coil-teeth is 1200 per minute. Okay, ma? Next, single and double circulation. Single and double circulation. Single circulation. Fishes have a single circulatory system. In a single circulatory system, the blood flows through the heart only once, completing a full circuit in the fish's body. The blood travels from the heart to the gills, where the exchange of gases takes place. The oxygenated blood from the gills then flows to various parts of the body, and from these parts back to the heart. This is the single circulation in fishes. Now, double circulation. This type of circulatory system has a separate systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. There are two types of circulatory systems in double circulation. First one is systemic circulation and second one is pulmonary circulation. The heart is the key organ for blood circulation, and the double circulation is an efficient way of circulation as it provides an effective way of circulation. The main difference is that the blood follows two routes, one for oxygenated blood and the other for deoxygenated blood. Hence, the name double circulation. There are two types of double circulation. What are they? First one is systemic circulation and second one is pulmonary circulation. Note down, ma. The heart is connected to the lungs through the pulmonary artery and vein. The heart is connected to the lungs through the pulmonary artery and vein. In double circulation, there are two pathways in which the blood flows. They are, first one, systemic circulation. First one is systemic circulation. In systemic circulation, carries oxygenated blood from the left ventricles to the tissue capillaries. The oxygen-rich blood is transferred to the aorta for circulating into various parts of the body. Later, the veins and venules collect the deoxygenated blood, which is rich in carbon dioxide from various parts of the body. The deoxygenated blood is pumped back into the superior vena cava and then to the right atrium. Once after receiving the deoxygenated blood, the right atrium carries blood to the right ventricle for pulmonary circulation. Note down these phases, ma. Second one, in double circulation, that is pulmonary circulation. In the pulmonary circulation, the blood circulation starts from the right atrium to the left atrium. In this pathway, the pulmonary artery collects the blood from the right ventricle and carries to lungs for oxygenation. Once after the purification process, the oxygenated blood is pumped back to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein, which is carried to the left ventricles. The left ventricles pump the oxygenated blood to the aorta for systemic circulation. This is the brief explanation of pulmonary circulation. Here the picture shows single circulation in fishes and double circulation in man. Draw the figure neatly in your notebook, ma. Next, the slide shows one important 5 marks question, that is difference question, single circulation and double circulation differences. This is very important question for you. First, single circulation definition. Single circulation is a type of circulatory system in which blood flows only once through the heart during one cardiac cycle. In double circulation definition, double circulatory system is a type of circulatory system in which blood flows twice through the heart during one cardiac cycle. In single circulation, blood flows through the heart only once. In double circulation, blood flows through the heart twice. In single circulation, there are two chambers in heart. One is atrium and one ventricle. There are two chambers in single circulation, that is one atrium and one ventricle. In double circulation, there are four chambers. They are two atria and two ventricles. In double circulation, there are four chambers. They are two atria and two ventricles. The organisms example for single circulation is fishes. The organisms which are examples for double circulation is vertebrates except fish. In single circulation, blood flowing through the heart, that is venous blood. in double circulation, that is oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. We already known which is called oxygenated blood. In oxygenated blood, oxygen is rich and carbon dioxide is poor. That is called oxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means oxygen is poor and carbon dioxide is rich. That is called deoxygenated blood. In single circulation, efficiency, this is less efficient. In double circulation, this is more efficient. Why? Because more efficient. The blood flows from the heart to the body parts very quickly. In this way, we called more efficient in double circulation. In single circulation, blood pressure is very low. In double circulation, blood flows at a high pressure. In single circulation, rate of oxygen supply to the cells are very low. In double circulation, rate of oxygen supply to the cells are very high. This is the one important 5 marks difference question for you. Write the points neatly in your biology book notebook. Next, lymphatic system. Have you ever observed what happened to your feet after overnight journey? In sitting position without moving, we feel that our footwear is little tight. In elders, it will be clear that the lower part of the legs will be, it shows in the figure. Lymphatic system swollen. This stage is called as edema. Edema. This is a question for 2 marks question. The lymphatic system is a network of tissues, vessels and organs that work together to move a colorless watery fluid called lymph. The tissue fluid which is present in the tissues should be transported into the blood vessels again. To transport the tissue fluid into the main bloodstream, a separate system is present. That is called lymphatic system. In the Latin, lymph means water. The picture shows the parts of lymphatic system in our body. Observe ma. Next, evolution of the transport system in animals. First, in unicellular organisms like amoeba. Amoeba belongs to which phylum in animals? Yes, that is Protozoa. The phylum name is Protozoa. Amoeba, the protoplasm shows natural movements. These movements are called as Brownian movements, because of which the nutrients and the oxygen are distributed throughout the protoplasm equally. The parazoas like sponges use seawater for transportation, since the natural water currents are not reliable. The sponges create their own currents by beating of flagella that are present in their body. The cnidarians, which are better evolved than sponges, For example, for cnidarians, the animals example for cnidarians are hydra and jellyfish have developed blind sac-like gastrovascular cavity which has taken up the function of digestion and transportation of nutrients to each and every cell of the body. Next, coming to the phylum Platyhelminthes. In Platyhelminthes, example for Platyhelminthes phylum Fasciola hepatica. The digestive system is highly branched and supplies digested food to all the cells directly. Next phylum Nematohelminthes, nematoda. In Nematohelminthes, the pseudocoelom has taken up the function of collection and distribution of materials. Next phylum, the annelids and the first eucoelomate animals have developed a pulsatile vessel to move the fluid and the transporting medium is blood. The Arthropoda phylum is the largest phylum in animal kingdom. Note down ma. The arthropod phylum is the largest, biggest phylum in the animal kingdom. The arthropods have developed a pulsatile organ to pump the blood, the heart. Next, blood pressure. We call shortly as BP. BP means blood pressure. Blood pressure is the pressure of circulating blood against the walls of blood vessels. BP is always measured in the upper arm artery. BP varies throughout the body. So, a standard place must be used so that a person's blood pressure can be compared to over a period of time. Doctors measure the blood pressure with a device called sphygmomanometer. Here, the above the picture is shown as sphygmomanometer. This is the device used to measure blood pressure. There are two pressure readings. One measures the strongest pressure during the time blood is forced out of the ventricles. This is called systolic pressure. For a healthy young adult, the systolic pressure will be 120 mm of Hg. Hg means mercury. The second reading is taken during the resting period as the ventricles refill with blood. This is called diastolic pressure. It will be 80 mm of Hg. So, in a person, normal BP is 120 by Hg. The number indicates upper number 120 indicates systolic pressure and lower number 80 indicates diastolic pressure. BP will change according to the activity in which the person is engaged, such as resting, walking and running. High BP is called as hypertension. Students, in this slide, you know that which device is used to measure BP. What is BP? And what is the number of systolic pressure and diastolic pressure of BP? What is called as high BP? These are the small questions, 1 mark questions for you for examination viewpoint. Okay ma? Note down in your notebook. Next, coagulation of blood. Next topic is coagulation of blood. When there is an injury, blood clots in 3 to 6 minutes. How does the blood clot? What chemistry involved in the blood coagulation? You know that when you cut yourself, the blood flows out of the wound for only a short time. Then the cut is filled with a reddish solid material. This solid is called a blood clot. If blood did not clot, anyone with even a slight wound bleeds profusely. When the blood flows out, the platelets release an enzyme called thrombokinase. Thrombokinase acts on another substance present in the blood called prothrombin, converting into thrombin. Thrombin acts on another substance called fibrin that is present in dissolved state, converting it into the insoluble fibrin. The blood cells entangle in the fibrin fibers, forming the clot. The fibrin fibers are attached to the edges of the wound and pull them together. This straw yellowish colored fluid portion after formation of the clot is serum. This is an important equation of coagulation of blood. Prothrombin, by the help of thrombokinase enzyme, it is converted to thrombin, and fibrinogen, with the help of thrombin enzyme, it is converted to fibrin. Normally, the blood that oozes from a wound clots in 3 to 6 minutes, but in some people, due to vitamin K deficiency, it take more time. Because of genetic disorder, the blood may not coagulate. This type of disorder is called hemophilia. Hemophilia is common disorder in the children who have born from marriages between very close relatives. Thalassemia, an inherited disorder, is also related to blood. This picture shows coagulation of blood. Observe ma. Materials transport with in the plant. In previous classes, we studied about Van Helmont's experiments on plants which get water that contain minerals from soil through their roots. The water absorbed by roots and food prepared by leaves are supplied the remaining parts of the plant by vascular bundles having xylem and phloem. Absorbing water by root hairs. Most water absorption happens in the root hairs. The root hairs are long, which allows them to penetrate between the soil particles and prevent harmful bacteria organism from entering the plant through the xylem vessels. The function of root hairs, here the picture shows the root hairs, is to collect water and mineral nutrients that are present in the soil and take this solution up through the roots to the rest of the plant. Next, root pressure. This is the experiment, one important experiment in this lesson, that is root pressure. How to prove root pressure in the plants? Aim to demonstrate root pressure in plants. Apparatus: potted plant with stem cut, rubber tube, glass tube and clamp. The procedure: take a regularly watered plant and cut the stem portion 1 centimeter above the ground level. Then connect a glass tube by means of strong rubber tubing as shown in the figure. The size of glass tube should be equal to the size of the stem. Take care while joining the tube and stem being bound tightly. Water cannot escape from the tube. Now pour some water in the glass tube until water level can be seen above the rubber tube. Next, mark the level of water M1 in tube. Keep your arrangement aside for 2 to 3 hours. Then observe and mark the water level reading M2 in the tube. The difference between M2 and M1 indicates the level of water raised. Now, observation. What is the observation in this experiment? There is increase in the level of water raised in the stem. Lastly, finally result. The raise in the water levels in the due to the root pressure created in the plant. Next topic is transpiration. The picture shows transpiration in the plants. Transpiration is the loss of water from a plant in the form of water vapor. Water is absorbed by roots from the soil and transported as a liquid to the leaves via xylem. In the leaves, small pores allow water to escape as a vapor. Of all the water absorbed by plants, less than 5% remains in the plant for growth. The picture shows the transpiration in the plants. Next, xylem and phloem. Plants have tissues to transport water and nutrients and minerals. Xylem and phloem are the parts of vascular tissue in the TS of leaf. Plants have tissues to transport water and nutrients and minerals. First one, xylem function. What is the xylem function? Xylem transports water and mineral salts from the roots up to the other parts of the plant. While phloem function. Phloem transports sucrose and amino acids between the leaves and other parts of the plant. This picture shows xylem and phloem. Xylem function is transport water and mineral salts from the roots up to the other parts of the plant. Phloem function is transports sucrose and amino acids between the leaves and other parts of the plant. This picture shows vascular bundle, vascular tissue in the TS of leaf. The above upper part of the part is called as xylem. The lower part is called as phloem. Observe the figures carefully, ma. Students, and lastly, I give assignment to you. Write the questions in your notebook neatly and answer the following questions. First question, what are the membranes called covered by a heart? First question, what are the membranes called covered of heart? Second question, what are the types of blood vessels in the body? What are the types of blood vessels in the body? Third, which is the largest artery in our body? Fourth, write the difference between arteries and veins. Fifth one, draw the figure of internal structure of heart. Sixth question, which device is used to measure BP? Seventh question, stethoscope was discovered by dash. And lastly, eighth question, what is called edema? And lastly, I would like to say thanks of Samagra Shiksha state officers and our Chittoor district officers for given best opportunity to teach online classes for our KGBV students. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, madams. Thank you, students, for watching this video.